reach your full potential by embracing the next generation. Armand, thank you for the great introduction because I've gotten so passionate about millennials and Gen Zs. And as you can see, I'm obviously not Gen Z. There's not one gene in me anymore. But I work for an organization that has been very successful to create this rich environment where they come, they stay, and I get approached by so many other business folks anymore who ask me, Ralph, how do you do this? I have so many issues. And now, as you all know, it's an employee market. There's low unemployment. People always look for jobs, and they find them because there are plenty around. And companies are very, very, they're in dire need to fill positions. And they're stumped because why are they not coming? And when they're coming, why are they not staying? And I'm like, what's going on? Oh, you know, this is the trophy for everything generation. The parents, they need to drop them off, and they're very entitled. They're always on their cell phone. They don't show up on time. And does anyone care to maybe help fill some of those statements? Do you know about them? Probably, right? I don't know about you, but we currently live in an age of labeling, and whenever you put a label on something, guess what? It becomes us versus them. And that is a key issue because it's a form of bullying. I've been bullied extensively in school, in apprenticeship, and anyone who's been subject to that, it's not a very enjoyable thing, is it? Not at all. And I'm from a country where we once had perfected bullying, when Nazis bullied like just about the globe, right? A very vivid reminder of that sits right there in the front lobby, a piece of the Berlin Wall. It's very goosebump-raising to me to be confronted with part of my own history, because that is bullying galore, the epitome of it. So not only was school and apprenticeship not an awful lot of fun, while I was born and raised over there, and even my parents, both of my parents were alcoholics, and my dad, he brought the bullying to the absolute maximum. Not so much physically, but psychoterror-wise. I don't recommend that program for anyone. And why I'm talking about this is just simply, it just irked me, and I made a key promise to myself. And that went like this. It's like, you know what? I have got to be better than this. I want to be the best dad that I'll ever be, that I can be, should be, for my kids. Because my dad never got to know his dad, because Second World War took him away 2 or 3 weeks before the end of the war. And I had not really known him much, like for the last 30 years. That's number one. The other thing is, it's like, this is all about opportunities. It's like whenever I have opportunities, I need to be able to make something out of those given to me, and I ought to think about what in the world can I do, provide more opportunities for others. And the last thing was, of course, and it's like whatever I do, I have got to do something about bullying. And jumping back to opportunities, I had this huge opportunity to make it here into the United States. And this is now going on, almost 30 years ago. And I came here with like 2 suitcases and good intentions on my mind. And in my broken English, where I found a home, and that was 1989, just a couple of months prior to the Berlin Wall coming down, where I had rented this one room, my landlady, the recent divorcee back then, said, it's like, Ralph, why don't you stay for Thanksgiving? I was like, oh, what is Thanksgiving? What do we do there? It's like, oh, okay. Family, friends. No. So the people came, in that small little house that where I stayed, the the bird, a size of which I had never seen before, and an oven, a size that I've never seen before, and the meal was prepared, and here I dreaded that situation so much because while in Europe, traveling in the area, in various countries, people would shy away from me, or any German for that matter, in certain regions more than others, because it's like, ooh, you're German. It's like, I didn't have anything to do with what happened in the Nazi time, but I get it. I will do something about it, and I will just go ahead and go with it. So I sat there, and it's like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then, all of a sudden, people ask me, it's like, where are you from? Oh, Germany, okay. Oh, wow, interesting place. I have relatives there. And I'm like, oh my God, what? What are you on? And you haven't even started to drink yet. And you have heard about Dr. Tom Hill, and he had a saying that stuck with me for a while, because he says, if you see successful people walk funny, Ralph, walk funny too. Learn how to walk funny. And it was like, perfect, I need to figure this out. Why are you the way you are? You're embracing me, you are tolerant, you're curious, you have courage. Wow, and I fell in love with the country and the people here, with you guys. Because even to this day, I believe this place still exists, and this is what we have, and this is what we ought to afford to the millennials. So move a little bit ahead in time, because I think Chris mentioned it earlier, 20 years, boom, they go by. You let your kids grow up, and now they're in the sweet spot, right off the Gen Z millennial quagmire. I've never seen such an intensity where previous generations are this bullyish with another up-and-coming generation. I dread it, I just dislike it. There's something that's got to be done about it. So while I was trying to figure this out, my daughter, who is in Germany, studying there, she's going to be there for the next 2 years, and she left for Germany last year. She got this call that most of us dread, because police called and they mistook her for me, insofar as like your dad died, and it was really my dad that had died. So she got to dealing with his estate. She had never met him. I hadn't seen him in 30 years. My son had never met him. And how it relates to millennials and how this fine red thread all wraps through our lives was what they found in his estate. Because here was a solid piece of my family history where this guy had endeavored to map out his life, and you are all here, how to make your life better. And there were 6 things that he had jotted down on a huge piece of paper. For years and years, he tried to complete it of like all kinds of things that were important. And here they are. Their impact and purpose, love and friendship, health, prosperity, spirituality, and learning and growth. Now I ask you, doesn't matter what generation you are, aren't you after this? We are all after this, in one way, shape, or form. We just have a different way to get there. And that does not deserve getting a label plastered over your head to say it's like, I'm Gen X, BabyBoomer, whatever. We all have something. And that was the key of success for any organization that I'm helping to figure out what are some different ways of how to do this. There is not one of any of your businesses who is not affected by 35% of millennials already in your workplace. They consume way differently. They shy away from certain things and not others. Any of our businesses are impacted by it. So if we don't learn to adapt them, guess what? They will live without us. Why don't we figure that out, how to make it a very diverse place to live and to work and enjoy life? We are blessed beyond measure. I have never been in a country or lived in a country like this. This is unbelievable what we have. You have no one but yourself in your own way of success. That's one key story to take away from tonight. But first of all, you've got to embrace yourself. And if you haven't gotten that word down yet, you're probably not breathing anymore. But that is the word of the night for me. Because when you learn that, not only will you, when you learn to finally get away and shy away from the labels, and you will home in on finally hearing other people, just give that moment of presence, of being genuine, be genuinely there with others. Have that respect for one another. And that's where the creativity and where the world just opens up, and your company will grow, and your person will grow. I circle back with my third promise, being a great dad, because it makes you a better person that people want to hang out with. And heaven forbid if that's your kids. You've got this.